Trust you're having a good afternoon on this Friday, the 5th of July. Many thanks for joining us here on K24 Newscut for a look at the top stories making headlines this hour. My name is Michelle Ngele Oviambo, and these are the top stories this hour. President William Ruto will engage Gen Zs on social media platform X Space this afternoon on the backdrop of the recent wave of anti-government demonstrations. Anxiety grips cabinet ahead of a looming cabinet reshuffle by President Ruto amid pressure by anti-government protesters demanding deep-rooted changes in government.
We can look forward again, walk into the morning, the sunlight of hope, pale at first, but getting stronger through the day, shining once again on a country with the opportunity after 14 years to get its future back.
Keir Starmer will be Britain's next Prime Minister after Labour Party secures a landslide victory in the UK election to end 14 years of Conservative rule. The broadcast, President William Ruto is expected to interact with the youth on X Space. The meeting has been planned from 2 to 5 p.m. this afternoon. Sources indicate that cabinet secretaries and other government officials are expected to join the president in this space. Ruto's decision to join the forum comes at a time when reservations from Gen Zs about participating in the multi-sectoral forums proposed by the president, where he recently proposed to address their concerns and those facing the nation. Let's bring our reporter Mumbi Wambugu, who is live for us from Nakuru, as we take a look at the expectations of Kenyans and the Gen Z in the X Space conversation this afternoon. Mumbi, Nakuru County especially was rocked by the anti-government protests. What do the youth there expect from that X Space conversation this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Michelle. Of course, Nakuru County is one of the regions where youths, especially the Gen Zs, came out in large number to just protest against the anti-finance bill. And of course, today, the virtual meeting with the president is highly anticipated. The youth just hoping to express their needs, what they want the government to do, how they want things to change, and how they want to be incorporated in the government. But then again, we've seen a section of youths, mostly the Gen Zs, just talking about they're not going to have a conversation with the president. They don't want it. The president knows what he should be doing, and he knows what he promised the youths, but they are going to have their own particular meeting in a different, virtual meeting, just engaging other influential public participants. But then again, I want this to come from the horse's mouths. I'm joined by some of the youths here. Welcome to K24 TV. Brian Silways, you're a youngster, and then again, you're also a youth that has advocated a lot for better governance. Maybe what do you think? Do you think this platform is genuine? Do you think the president deserves a chance to at least, listen to the youths? Welcome.
Asante. My name is Brian Silways. I'm an urban spoken word artist, a human rights advocate, and I'm here with the Vasquez, the poet. So first of all, if the president should be given a chance to talk on Twitter, the X Space, the president, we were on the street for 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks, right? People had banners. The message was so clear. The president knows what he's supposed to do for the young people. And the president, you're saying we should give him a chance. He has been there for 2 years or maybe 3 years, right? When the president was campaigning, he had his own manifesto, right? According to what he was supposed to do for the young people, what he was supposed to do for the people of Kenya. He has his manifesto. What are we going to talk about? Which conversation are we going to have on Twitter space? Tulikuwa kwa street, tuliandamana. Si president alikuwa anaona. Si ako na watu wake wenye wanamwambianga kitu ya kufanya. He knows what he is supposed to do. People in Bondo, people in Turkana, people in Baringo, they don't have Twitter. They can't access the X space. So those people who are going to talk there, most of them are influential people. And we know very well that some of them have been already compromised. So they are just going to talk, they are going to say what the president want to hear. But ule mwananchi wa kawaida mwenye ako chini, hata issues zake hazitakuwa aired. The president alituambia kona manifesto ya vijana, akasema hatutakuwa tunapiga simu, sijui tutakuwa tunafanya nini, siasa mingi. The president knows what he's supposed to do, na angekuwa alishaifanya kitambo. This is not the time to have those conversations on X. This is the time to show us that he had people on the street and he knows what he's supposed to do. The message was so clear. Watu walisema reject, wengine wakasema Ruto must go, wengine wakasema manze don't do this, don't do that. Tuliona the other day, I think it was on People's Daily, right? Where those people who are allocating those governors, senators, MPs na nini na nini. Can I ask a genuine question? Wewe ukitaka kuongezewa mshahara, si lazima ukuwe consulted. Si ndio? Huwezi ongezewa tu mshahara kama hujaambiwa. So kutokea kusema tuna reject hiyo mshahara, hizo ni PR bana. Hizo unataka tu kupata masses from the people. You know what you are doing and hiyo wakati ndio hatuna, anguka nayo. So, na tunaishi kwa government yenye unajua the funny thing about this government is that the president says there's no money in Kenya na yeye mwenyewe ako na biashara ya kukopesha watu pesa. Anaenda kukopa pesa, akuja aanze kukopesha watu pesa.
So what do you think should be the way forward? Kama hautaingia ile Twitter space, wewe utaingia, do you have any
Tata, tuko na space yetu ya mtu mwenye anajua maslahi ya Wakenya. We have people like Okiom Tata who have been fighting for our rights. Finance bill, mambo ya housing fund, he was there. Sisi tutaenda tumsikize because wako na interest zetu at heart. Hatutaenda kusikiza stories za mtu mwenye ajali. You saw what the president was doing the other day on live TV. Other question hata ana ideas maze. Like anauliza kama mtu yako ako why like.
All right, your point is home. Just briefly tupatie maoni yako. Just karibia tu.
Mi sioni nidia hiyo space kwa sababu president yeye ashasikia grievances zetu. Hata hiyo mambo ya wasie kuuliwa wote, hakuna msee hata mmoja wa gavana mwenye amekuja akaongelea kuhusu those people na wenye waliuliwa. Familia zao saizi zina grief sana, na hakuna msee mmoja hata wakiulizwa stories za killings, hizo police brutality. Jana Kindiki alikuwa kwa JKL akiulizwa about hizo police brutality nini, hakuna kitu yenye anasema, hakuna kitu genuine yenye anasema. So sioni ni dia president kwa vio space yet already anajua mahitaji ya wananchi, na wananchi tayari kuanzia hizo like 3 weeks ama 2 weeks zenye zimepita wasa ameishi kulia.
In short, Evansquez is saying the conversation that the president should be having, the president, first of all, we need to see, ungekusha compensate watu waliuliwa na government yako. Ungekusha compensate watu waliumizwa na government yako. Tumeona DCI washatoa picha za people sijui who looted na nini na protest.
Thank you.
The president atoe those pictures of those people who killed innocent Kenyans on live TV.
All right. Thank you. Those are just some of the youths here in Nakuru County just airing their views in regards to the virtual meeting with the president. And of course, as you can see, they're not for their X space, and those are some of the views actually coming out of some of the social media platforms. But that is what we have for now. We just wait and see. This is Mombi Wambogo from Nakuru County.
So the Gen Z from Nakuru County ahead of that X space conversation by President William Ruto. And just to update you, we're keeping an eye on a State House address that State House has called for 1 p.m. this afternoon. We're yet to see the focus of the address ahead of that conversation with the president on X space, but also ahead of that looming State House, a cabinet shake-up by President William Ruto. And so many are waiting with bated breath to hear the contents of that address from State House. But let's take take you now to Eldoret town, the backyard of President William Ruto, where our reporter Timothy Simwa is sampling the expectations of Gen Zs from the town with regard to that X-Space conversation later this afternoon. Simwa, the meeting or the engagement was scheduled to begin at 2 p.m. this afternoon. Are the Gen Z in Eldoret town going to join this conversation?
Definitely, yes, Michelle. This is a meeting that they've been waiting for, perhaps for the longest time. And it's fair to say maybe the storm is over and it's time for the country to reflect. The meeting that is set to come on X-Space this afternoon is one that most of the youth or most of the people within the county of Western Gishu have been talking about, just to get a moment to share with the head of state, share some of their grievances, and we understand that the list is very long among the demands that the Gen Z have been raising to make sure that the government can actually, reply to what has been the sticking issues of the demonstrations that lasted for the last 3 weeks. Michelle, allow me to have an interaction with a number of them. They're just 3, representing others. We couldn't have all of them on set, of course. And we want to get to hear what would be the expectations ahead of this very important one-of-its-kind meeting. You'll begin by telling us your name. And we have seen a litany of demands that the Gen Z is making to the president, head of state. This afternoon, he said to meet Kenyans, especially young Kenyans on X, formerly Twitter. The question then we are asking is that what should be the priority areas for the president? Because there are quite many, and you do not expect that this can be done in a day.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Faith Diligence. I am a business owner. I own EcoSpec Homes, which is a business that focuses on offering cleaning services using environmental friendly methods and products. I am also a Gen Z, as you can see, and I'm very proud of what my generation has been doing. I believe social accountability is our responsibility as Kenyan citizens and patriots, and I'm very proud that we are actively participating in that. So I think my expectations for this X-Space that the president is convening with fellow youths is, I think our main problem is corruption. The main thing that they should address is corruption, because we cannot talk of imposing more taxes and seeking more ways of collecting revenue as a country before we address all the loopholes that our money, as our public funds, are getting lost through. I think that's the main concern of most Kenyans.
Any other question? I mean, item apart from corruption?
You see, corruption is very general, so it holds so many other points. For example, we have so many public offices whose importance we really do not see. For example, that of the CAS, and so many other members of so many other offices within the national and county governments. So we are spending a lot paying these people, yet we should direct these funds to public development. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. Perhaps the question I would wish you to respond to is where we go after this, after the meeting with the president. Where should this, newly found kind of a social movement initiated by the youth go? Could this be the end of what has been, a motivation fueled by the social media, or what exactly will be the young generation doing to make sure that this is a conversation that does not end going forward?
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Simwa. My name is Musa Igesa, the Director of Change Creators Consultants. I'm an mentor and trainer, as well as a youth ambassador. We all know that without peace, the business will not go on, properly destroyed, the lives will be lost. And now we call for peace at every given point. Now, on the first point, I'd like to commend the President to reject on signing on the bill, and we call upon the MPs to totally reject every clause of that bill. That will be the next stage. And now coming to today's meeting on the X-Space with the President, we want to see that a lot of things will be discussed. I know among the elderliness, youth employment, everything. But now we have had so many meetings, so many documents, and they are just gaining dust on the shelves. We need the players to come out strongly and at least implement these pieces of commission, policies and everything, so that they can become fruitful. For the youth, because they were going for the demonstration, at first it was peaceful because they had their grievances. It's simply because they are tired, they don't have the money, they don't have jobs, such kind. And because they are idle, we can see that they are susceptible to being maybe to violent extremism, crime, and all that. And if you can find a way, partnering the county government and the national government, to find a way to come up with a policy whereby this youth can be brought together to have meaningful projects in agriculture, in business, they can be given startups, so that it will be something gaining for them in their pockets and in their livelihood. Thank you so much.
So, just to wind up this, perhaps a comment that I would wish to get from you is that we have had fears from cross sections of Kenyans that certain groups pushing their own personal interests have hijacked this whole movement by Kenyan youth. I don't know whether you think people will be speaking this afternoon will genuinely and legitimately represent the interests that made these young Kenyans go on the streets for the last 3 weeks.
Thank you so much, Simeon. My name is Moses Gitonga. I'm a youth in business and the founder of Business Community of Youthful Entrepreneurs. So my take about the ongoing demos and the distractions that has been coming up is the politicians or maybe some few people have organized these maybe demonstrations that are the looting demonstrations. It's not about us, the Gen Z. You know, the Gen Z, we are hopeless. As the Gen Z, we are people with great minds but little hopes for our Kenyan economy, because the leaders that we have, they are not empathetic. They are people who have shown us that they want to crush us, you know, and we are not ready for a fight. So my thoughts about this is every other side show must end, and we must have this dialogue. Youths, please, let's join the space so that we can voice our issues in the most diligent way. And as well, from the president, we expect him to be empathetic. We expect him to listen to us so that things can move forward. We need a father figure president, you know. He's the father of the nation, so we need him to hear our voices. And as well, all the stakeholders in government, maybe the DCI offices and all the, maybe the IG, to maybe start the processes of how we could see. We want to see more arrests of people in government who are doing this looting thing and everything. So mine is to urge the young men, don't engage in any other sideshows, but rather let us build this country, because for this country to become a better country, it needs the voice even of that Mama Mboga down there. It needs everybody included. So we together can see maybe hope, maybe let us listen to our president and let us give our views and opinion. Thank you.
Michelle, they hope this will be definitely the turning point for the Kenyan youth ahead of the session that is coming up on X this afternoon. You've heard from a section of them, mostly the Gen Zs within Western Gishu County, and what they have to say ahead of this very important meeting. And of course, we'll be waiting also to see what exactly will be the outcome of this meeting and whether it's going to change the political landscape and how we do things as a country, and whether there's so many reforms that are being pushed by this group will be accomplished at the end of the day. Michelle.
Right, many things. That is Timothy Seymour, live press from Eldoret town. Gen Z is expressing their expectations ahead of that X-Space conversation with the president. A quick reminder that we're keeping an eye on a State House address by President William Ruto any time from now. Many asking, is this the hour where he will reshuffle his cabinet? We're keeping an eye on that. Do stay with us. This is K24 TV.